No one could handle the millionaire's twin daughters, until a single mom who worked as a janitor came into their lives. What happened next left everyone amazed. Marcus Hartwell stood in the doorway of his twin daughter's bedroom, watching another nanny pack her bags. That made 11. 11 nannies in 8 months. Emma and Lily, his 7-year-old girls, sat on their beds with identical smirks on their faces. They put glue in my shampoo, the nanny said, her voice shaking. They locked me in the basement. I can't do this anymore. Marcus pulled out his checkbook, writing an amount that would make most people's eyes water. The nanny took it without a word and rushed out. He heard the front door slam moments later. Girls, he said quietly. Why? Emma crossed her arms. She was boring. She smelled like cabbage, Lily added. Before we continue, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Life Frames. Marcus rubbed his temples. Since their mother died 2 years ago, the twins had become impossible. Every therapist, every behavioral specialist said the same thing. They were angry, grieving, acting out. But knowing why didn't help him fix it. He tried everything. Strict nannies who implemented military-style schedules, sweet grandmotherly types who baked cookies, young, energetic nannies who tried to be their friends. The twins destroyed them all with the precision of tiny generals waging war. His phone buzzed. Another meeting he'd have to reschedule. His company needed him, but his daughters needed him more. The problem was, he didn't know what they needed. I have to go to the office for a few hours, he said. Mrs. Chen will be here. Mrs. Chen was their housekeeper, a kind woman in her 60s who'd been with the family for years. She couldn't control the twins either, but at least they didn't actively torture her. We'll be good, Emma said with a sweetness that made Marcus's stomach drop. He knew that tone. Something was coming. That afternoon, while Marcus sat in a board meeting he couldn't focus on, his phone rang. It was Mrs. Chen. Mr. Hartwell, you need to come home. The girls, they've done something to the house. Marcus's heart sank. What did they do? Just come home. Please. Marcus walked through his front door and stopped. His expensive furniture was covered in what looked like an entire warehouse worth of toilet paper. The twins had somehow gotten into his home office and shredded important documents, creating a paper snowstorm throughout the first floor. Paint handprints decorated the walls in colors that definitely weren't washable. Mrs. Chen stood in the middle of the chaos, looking defeated. I was in the kitchen for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Emma and Lily stood on the stairs, watching his reaction with careful eyes. They weren't laughing or celebrating. They were studying him, like scientists watching an experiment. Marcus didn't yell. He'd learned that yelling made things worse. Instead, he said, "Clean it up. All of it. Both of you." "No," Emma said simply. "We don't want to," Lily added. Mrs. Chen looked at Marcus with sympathy. "I'll call a cleaning service." "No," Marcus said. "They need to learn consequences." But the twins just walked up to their room and closed the door. Marcus knew from experience that if he forced the issue, they'd make things even worse. They'd break something valuable or hurt themselves just to toe the point. He paid a cleaning crew triple their usual rate to come immediately. As they worked, he sat in his study with his head in his hands. He was failing. As a father, as a parent, as a person. His daughters were spinning out of control and he had no idea how to reach them. The next morning, Mrs. Chen approached him nervously. "Mr. Hartwell, I need to talk to you." His stomach tightened. "You're quitting?" No, but I think I might have an idea." She twisted her hands together. "There's a woman who works nights at your office building. She's a janitor, single mother with a son. I've seen her with him a few times when I've brought you dinner. The way she handles him, he's a good kid. Respectful, happy." Marcus frowned. "You want me to hire a janitor as a nanny? I know it sounds strange, but she has this quality. Calm, firm. The boy clearly adores her, but also listens to her. Her name is Rosa Martinez." Marcus thought about the parade of credentialed nannies with perfect resumes who'd fled his home in tears. Maybe credentials weren't what his daughters needed. "Arrange a meeting," he said. Rosa Martinez walked into Marcus Hartwell's home wearing her cleaning uniform, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. She looked around the mansion with careful eyes, not impressed or intimidated, just observing. Marcus explained the situation, not sugarcoating anything. He told her about the 11 nannies, the destruction, the complete lack of control. Rosa listened without interrupting. "Your daughters aren't bad kids," she said when he finished. They're hurt kids. Hurt kids act out because pain has to go somewhere. Marcus felt something in his chest tighten. Everyone says that, but knowing it doesn't help me fix it. Because you're trying to control their behavior instead of addressing their pain. Rosa's voice was gentle but direct. I lost my husband 3 years ago. My son Diego was 5. He started breaking things, hitting other kids, screaming for hours. Everyone told me he was troubled, needed medication, needed special programs. What did you do? I stopped trying to make him behave and started trying to understand what he was feeling. I let him be angry. I let him cry. I let him break cheap plates in the backyard when he needed to smash something. She met Marcus's eyes. Your daughters need permission to grieve, not another person trying to make them act normal. Marcus had interviewed dozens of childcare professionals. None of them had talked like this. The position pays. I don't want to be their nanny, Rosa interrupted. I have my job. I have my son, but I can come 3 evenings a week for a few hours. Help you understand them better. Teach you what I learned. That's not enough. I need someone here during the day. You need to be here during the day, Rosa said quietly. They don't need another stranger. They need their father. The words hit him like a physical blow. He opened his mouth to argue, to explain about his responsibilities, his company, but Rosa raised a hand. I'm not judging you. I know you're doing your best. But your best right now isn't working. Something has to change. She stood up. Think about my offer. If you want my help, Mrs. Chen knows how to reach me. After Rosa left, Marcus sat in silence. The house felt enormous and empty around him. He thought about his daughters upstairs, probably plotting their next disaster. He thought about the way Rosa had looked at him, not with pity or criticism, but with understanding. That evening, he told Mrs. Chen to contact Rosa. They'd try it her way. Rosa came the next evening at 6 o'clock. She brought her son Diego, a quiet 8-year-old boy with his mother's dark eyes and a backpack full of homework. The twins stared at them from the stairs with suspicion. Girls, Marcus said, this is Rosa and her son Diego. Another nanny, Emma said flatly. Not a nanny, Rosa said. I'm here to hang out for a while. Diego, go ahead and start your homework at the kitchen table. The boy nodded and walked past the twins without fear or interest. This seemed to confuse them. Rosa walked into the living room and sat down on the couch, making herself comfortable. You two can join me or not. Doesn't matter to me. Marcus started to speak, but Rosa shot him a look that said, stay quiet. He did. The twins watched Rosa from the stairs. She pulled out her phone and started scrolling, completely ignoring them. 5 minutes passed. Then, finally, curiosity won. The twins crept down the stairs and into the living room, keeping their distance. What are you looking at? Lily asked. Pictures of my family, Rosa said, not looking up. Let me see, Emma demanded. Ask nicely. No. Rosa shrugged. Okay, she kept scrolling. Marcus watched this exchange with fascination. The twins weren't used to people who didn't react to their commands or their rudeness. Lily moved closer. Please, can I see? Rosa smiled and turned her phone to show them. This is my son when he was little. This is my husband. He died 3 years ago. Emma's eyes widened slightly. Our mom died too. I know, Rosa said. It's the worst thing in the world, isn't it? The simple acknowledgement seemed to break something open. Lily sat down on the couch next to Rosa. Emma stayed standing, but she moved closer. Did you cry a lot? Lily asked. Every single day for months, Rosa said. Sometimes I still do. Daddy never cries, Emma said, looking at Marcus with something like accusation. Marcus felt his throat tighten. I do, just not where you can see. Why not? Emma's voice was sharp. Because I thought I needed to be strong for you. That's stupid, Emma said. Mom died. You're supposed to be sad. Rosa looked at Marcus with a gentle expression that somehow gave him permission. You're right, he said quietly. It is stupid. I am sad. I'm sad every day. Over the next few weeks, Rosa came 3 times a week. She never tried to discipline the twins. She never implemented rules or schedules. She just existed in their space, calm and solid, like a lighthouse in their storm. She brought art supplies and let them paint their feelings. The twins created violent, chaotic images full of dark colors. Rosa never flinched. She hung every picture on the refrigerator. She brought old dishes from thrift stores and let them smash them in the backyard when they were angry. The crash of breaking porcelain seemed to release something in the girls each time. She told stories about her husband, about grief, about the hard days and the slightly less hard days. She never tried to fix their pain or rush them through it. And slowly, like ice melting in spring, the twins began to soften. Diego became an unexpected bridge. He was patient with the girls, teaching them card games, and showing them his favorite books. He'd been where they were, and somehow they could sense it. They trusted him in a way they didn't trust adults. Marcus started leaving work earlier. He cancelled meetings. He turned down opportunities. His business partners complained, but he didn't care. Rosa was right. His daughters needed him there. One evening, Marcus found Emma crying in her room. He sat down next to her bed. "I miss her so much," Emma sobbed. "Everyone expects us to be okay now. It's been 2 years, but I'm not okay." Marcus felt tears running down his own face. "I'm not okay either. Really. I miss her every single day. I miss the way she laughed. I miss her terrible singing in the shower. I miss how she always knew exactly what to say to make everything better." Emma climbed into his lap, something she hadn't done in over a year. "I'm sorry we've been bad." "You haven't been bad. You've been hurting." He held her close. "And I'm sorry I didn't see it. I'm sorry I tried to hire people to fix it instead of just being here with you." Lily appeared in the doorway, her face tear-streaked. She climbed onto the bed with them, and they sat together, the three of them, crying for the woman they'd lost and the family they were trying to become without her. That night was a turning point. The twins still had hard days. They still acted out sometimes, testing boundaries and processing grief in messy ways. But the destruction stopped. The cruelty stopped. They began to heal. Rosa taught Marcus to validate their feelings instead of trying to control their behavior. To say, "I see you're angry," instead of "stop being angry." To let them feel their feelings without making those feelings wrong. She taught him that grief wasn't linear, that healing wasn't about moving on, but about learning to carry the pain differently. She taught him that being a good father meant being present, not perfect. 3 months after Rosa first walked into their home, Marcus made a decision. He promoted his second-in-command to CEO and stepped back from daily operations. He'd still be involved, still guide the company, but his daughters came first. His colleagues thought he was crazy. His board of directors expressed concern, but Marcus didn't care. He'd spent 2 years trying to be everything to everyone, and failing at what mattered most. The twins started sleeping through the night. They made friends at school. They laughed again, real laughs that lit up their faces. Mrs. Chen cried happy tears when she saw them playing in the backyard one afternoon, just being normal kids. Rosa continued coming twice a week, not as a therapist or nanny, but as a friend. Her wisdom and calm presence had become essential to all of them. One evening, Lily asked Rosa, "Why did you help us? You didn't know us." Rosa smiled. "Because someone helped me when I needed it. Because pain shouldn't be faced alone. Because you deserved to have someone see your hurt instead of just your behavior." "Do you think Mom would be proud of us now?" Emma asked her father quietly. Marcus pulled both girls close. "I think she'd be proud of how brave you've been. Grief is scary, and you faced it. That takes real courage." A year after Rosa first entered their lives, Marcus stood in the backyard watching his daughters play with Diego. They were building something elaborate with sticks and string, arguing good-naturedly about engineering principles they didn't fully understand. Rosa stood beside him, drinking coffee from a travel mug before her shift at the office building. "Thank you," Marcus said, "for everything, for seeing what I couldn't see, for teaching me how to be the father they needed." "You always were the father they needed," Rosa said. "You just needed help finding your way. I tried to pay you, many times." "I know," she smiled, "and I kept saying no. Some things aren't about money. Let me do something, please. Your son deserves better than a mother who works hard and loves him. He has everything he needs. A college fund then. Let me set something up. I'm not trying to buy you or insult you. I just want to help someone who helped me when I was drowning." Rosa considered this. "Okay, but only if you set one up for any family who needs it. Create a fund. Help other single parents. Other grieving families. Turn what you learned into something that helps more than just us." Marcus felt something click into place. A foundation for families dealing with grief and loss, connecting them with support, resources, people who understand. "Now you're thinking." Rosa checked her watch. "I need to get to work." "Rosa," Marcus said, "you changed our lives. The twins, me, even Mrs. Chen. We were broken, and you helped us heal." "You healed yourselves," she said. "I just showed you it was possible." After Rosa left, Emma and Lily ran over to their father. Can Diego stay for dinner? They asked in unison. Of course. Let me call Rosa. As the kids ran back to their game, Marcus pulled out his phone. But he didn't call Rosa. Instead, he opened his notes app and started writing ideas for the foundation. An organization that would help families like his, families drowning in grief and feeling alone. He'd name it after his wife. She would have loved that. That evening, with Diego at their dinner table and his daughters laughing over some joke only kids found funny, Marcus felt something he hadn't felt in 2 years: peace. His family was different now. Smaller in some ways, larger in others. They carried pain that would never fully disappear, but they carried it together, and that made all the difference. The millionaire had learned what money couldn't buy, that healing required presence, not presence. That love meant showing up, not giving up. That sometimes the people who save us aren't the ones with impressive credentials, but the ones with open hearts who've walked through darkness themselves. Emma caught his eye across the table and smiled, a real smile full of joy and mischief and hope. Marcus smiled back, thinking about the janitor who'd seen what no one else could see, that his daughters didn't need to be handled. They needed to be heard, held, and given permission to feel everything they were feeling. And in helping them find their way back to wholeness, she'd helped him find his way back to being the father he was meant to be all along. 2 months later, Marcus sat in a conference room. But this time, it wasn't for his company. Around the table sat grief counselors, child psychologists, social workers, and Rosa. They were planning to launch the Sarah Hartwell Foundation, named after his late wife. We need to reach families before they hit crisis point, Rosa said, looking at the proposed budget. Prevention, not just intervention. Dr. Chen, a child psychologist who specialized in grief, nodded enthusiastically. Support groups for kids who've lost parents. Training for schools on how to recognize grieving children who are acting out. Marcus made notes, his mind racing with possibilities. What about matching families with mentors? People who've been through similar losses. Like what Rosa did for you, Dr. Chen said. Exactly. We can't clone Rosa, but we can find people with her gift for seeing past behavior to the pain underneath. Rosa laughed. I'm not special. I just paid attention because I'd been there. That's exactly what makes you special, Marcus said. You had empathy born from experience. That's what these families need. The planning took months. Marcus threw himself into it with the same intensity he'd once given his company. But now his daughters were part of the process. They helped design the foundation's youth programs. Their insights invaluable. Kids need a place where they don't have to pretend to be okay, Emma said during one planning session. At school, everyone gets weird if you're sad. They don't know what to say. Or they say stupid things like at least she's in a better place. Lily added. That doesn't help. She's not here. That's what matters. The foundation launched on what would have been Sarah's 38th birthday. The event was small, intimate, just the families they'd already started helping. The volunteers and the staff. Marcus watched as children who'd lost parents played together in one corner, while their surviving parents talked quietly in another. A teenage girl who'd lost her father to cancer was teaching Lily how to braid friendship bracelets. A young boy whose mother died in a car accident was showing Diego his collection of rocks. Rosa stood beside him. Diego at her side. You did good, she said quietly. We did good, Marcus corrected. None of this happens without you. It happens because you were willing to change, to admit you needed help. That's harder than people think. The woman approached them nervously. She was maybe 35, with tired eyes and a little boy clutching her hand. Are you Mr. Hartwell? Marcus, please. I'm Jennifer. This is Tyler. We lost my husband 6 months ago, and Tyler's been having trouble at school. Fighting, talking back, failing classes. The school counselor told me about your foundation. Her voice cracked. I don't know what to do. I'm working 2 jobs just to keep our apartment, and Tyler's so angry all the time. I don't know how to reach him. Marcus knelt down to Tyler's level. The boy looked away, his jaw set in a familiar stubborn line. Marcus had seen that exact expression on Emma's face countless times. Tyler, you know what? My daughters lost their mom 2 years ago. They were so mad about it that they made 11 different nannies quit. 11. They destroyed furniture, locked people in basements, put glue in shampoo bottles. Tyler's eyes flickered with interest, despite himself. And you know what I finally figured out? They weren't bad kids. They were just really, really sad and really, really mad, and they didn't know how to say it. I'm not sad, Tyler said, but his voice wavered. Okay, Marcus said simply, but if you were, That would be totally normal. Losing your dad is the worst thing that can happen. Being angry about it makes sense. Tyler's face crumpled. Jennifer pulled him close as he started crying, and Marcus stepped back to give them space. Rosa was already talking to Jennifer, gentle and sure. We have a support group for kids, Tyler's age, and one for parents. You don't have to do this alone. Marcus watched them, feeling his wife's presence like a warm hand on his shoulder. Sarah would have loved this. She'd always said that success wasn't about how much money you made, but about how many lives you touched. That night at home, Marcus tucked his daughters into bed. They were too old for tucking in really, but they still let him do it, and he treasured these quiet moments. "Dad," Emma said as he was turning out the light, "I think Mom would really like the foundation." "I think so too, sweetheart. Remember how she always helped people?" Lily added, "like when Mrs. Patterson's husband died, and Mom brought her dinner every night for a month?" Marcus smiled, remembering. "She made that terrible casserole." The twins giggled. "It was so bad," Emma said. "But Mrs. Patterson ate it anyway because Mom made it with love," Lily finished. After they fell asleep, Marcus went to his home office. On his desk was a photo of Sarah, taken a few months before she died. She was laughing at something outside the frame, her whole face lit with joy. "We're okay," he told the photo quietly. "It took a while, and some days are still hard, but we're okay. The girls are amazing. You'd be so proud of them. They're strong and kind and so much like you." His phone buzzed. A text from Rosa. Tyler's mom just called. He agreed to come to the support group. Small victories. Marcus smiled and typed back. All victories are small until they add up to something big. The foundation grew steadily over the next 6 months. They helped 30 families, then 50, then 100. Marcus hired a full-time director so he could focus on fundraising and expansion. He gave speeches at conferences, sharing his family's story, not caring that it made him vulnerable. "I was a millionaire who couldn't handle his own children," he told audiences. "I had all the money in the world and none of the answers. Until a janitor showed me that grief can't be managed or controlled. It can only be felt, and eventually integrated into who we become." People responded to his honesty. Donations poured in. Other cities asked about opening chapters. But the real measure of success came in quieter moments. When Tyler's mother called to say he'd made the honor roll. When a widowed father thanked them because his daughter smiled again. When a teenage girl who'd lost both parents told them the support group saved her life. One evening, a year and a half after the foundation launched, Marcus arrived home to find Rosa's car in the driveway. That was unusual. It wasn't one of her regular visit days. He walked in to find her at the kitchen table with Mrs. Chen, both of them looking serious. "What's wrong?" Marcus asked immediately. "Nothing's wrong," Rosa said, "but I need to tell you something. I got offered a position, assistant facility manager at the building where I work. Better hours, better pay, benefits. It's a good opportunity." "That's wonderful," Marcus said, genuinely happy for her. "It means I won't be able to keep the same evening schedule. I'd have to adjust when I visit." Mrs. Chen smiled. "I told her you'd understand." "Of course I understand. Rosa, you've put your life on hold to help us. Take the job. We'll figure out the schedule." "You're sure?" Marcus looked around his home. The twins' artwork covered the walls. School photos and foundation materials cluttered the counters. Diego's math homework was spread across the table. He did homework here more often than at his own apartment now. "I'm sure you taught us what we needed to know. We're not the same broken family you met. We're stronger now." Rosa's eyes glistened. "You were never broken. You were just lost for a while." The twins burst through the front door, home from their after-school art class. They stopped when they saw Rosa. "You're here!" Emma exclaimed. "Did you bring Diego?" Lily asked. "He's at soccer practice. But I came to tell you some good news." As Rosa shared her news with the girls, Marcus watched his daughters celebrate for her. They'd grown so much. Emma was less guarded now, more willing to show affection. Lily had stopped having nightmares. They both talked about their mother freely, sharing memories without falling apart. They were healing. All of them were. And it had started with a single mom who worked as a janitor, who saw a millionaire's family falling apart, and offered the one thing money couldn't buy, understanding from someone who'd walked the same painful road and made it through to the other side.